All right, it's time to pivot to the NFL. And I got some news last night. You know, obviously I'm texting with the staff, and Zach sends me something. Hey, I got some bad news for your guy, Brock Purdy and the Niners. And I look at the numbers, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm a Brock Purdy guy. Listen, don't tell me what I don't want to hear. And so I say, why don't you strip out last year's numbers from Brock Purdy and then come back to me, and I'll take a look at it. And so Zach did that. And folks, Brock Purdy, when tied or trailing in the second half, not good. It's not just last season. There's a theme here. Now, I do want to say, you know me, I love a good underdog. Brock Purdy, last pick in the draft. I've been championing this guy for a couple years. Folks, when facing a big deficit in his career, it's not just last season. He hasn't been great. Now, obviously, context is needed here. Yes, I'm a Brock Purdy guy. Guy goes 5-0 in his first season in the league. Boom. Goes right to the conference championship. Gets hurt against Philly. Comes back the next year. People were doubting him. Not me. J-Mac all in on Brock Purdy. And what did you know when he went to the Super Bowl? Lost in overtime. Okay? Brock Purdy has shown a lot. We got Chris Sims here talking about Brock Purdy's growth. And I'm going to kid it positive before I get negative. So here's Chris Sims talking Brock Purdy.
I was encouraged with a lot of stuff I saw from Brock Purdy last year. I do feel like he did more off schedule, more wow plays, more wow throws, making some more happen when it wasn't there to be had, maybe than he had the 2 years previous to that. That's where I saw growth in his game. He can't lose the surgicality that he had and running the offense and being just an absolute machine with making the right decisions play after play after play.
So we're seeing positive growth from Brock Purdy. And I will add, again, context always necessary. Go back to that Super Bowl run. They trailed Green Bay, came back and got the dub. Brock Purdy with the fourth quarter comeback. Next week, in a memorable game against Detroit, they trail big, down 24-7 at the half. Brock Purdy engineers an awesome comeback. Yes, some of that was Dan Campbell fumbling the bag, Josh Reynolds a brutal drop, some luck with the face mask catch by the Niners. But San Francisco and Brock Purdy came back to get the dub. So he has had some comebacks. But by and large, Brock Purdy is great on the script. And when that wears off, it don't look good. Now, you can't just kill Brock Purdy because it takes two to tango. And we know Kyle Shanahan has had some failures. Okay? Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the Niners, was the OC in Atlanta when he had Matt Ryan, the MVP, and they gagged away a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. You can't put that fully on Shanahan, obviously. However, play calling has been suspect in big spots. Kyle Shanahan, fast forward to when he had Jimmy Garoppolo in the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I remember this vividly because I had the Niners in that one. They led 20-10 in the fourth quarter, and they ended up losing and not covering. Now, again, can't put it all on Shanahan, but it's a pattern. Blows the lead as the OC in the fourth quarter, second half against the Patriots. Blows the lead in the fourth quarter against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. And, oh, by the way, they had a double-digit lead in the second quarter when they lost the Super Bowl to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid just a couple years ago. So there is a pattern of Shanahan struggling late and my guy Brock Purdy. However, I'm still positive on Brock Purdy and the Niners for this season. The schedule is extremely favorable. I joked to a buddy that me, who has never coached football at any level, I could get the Niners to 500 this season. That's how easy the schedule is, and I'm not buying this whole the roster's depleted. The Niners are going to be very good. Folks, the quarterbacks they're facing right out of the gate, Sam Darnold in a new spot. Who the hell knows who the Saints are starting at quarterback? Kyler Murray, come on. We're not concerned there. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. By the way, they got some problems already with Travis Hunter. We'll talk about that later. The Rams game's going to be tough. But again, Michael Penix, whatever the Giants trot out at quarterback, Carolina, I don't know if Bryce Young's going to be starting then. Cleveland, if you got four quarterbacks battling, you got zero. Tennessee, rookie quarterback. Colts at that stage in the game, I don't know what's going on there. So the schedule screams 10, 11, 12 wins, maybe 13 for the Niners and probably a number one seed. But I'm the commander in truth, as I said yesterday, and I got to come clean. These Brock Purdy, when trailing numbers, kind of sort of scare me. I'm not absolutely terrified, but the numbers should scare you because, listen, the first time Brock Purdy's trailing, well, this is what he can't do. He doesn't do comebacks. Kyle Shanahan, what are you going to do? And I think that's the kind of thing that can seep into your head, and not only as a fan, but as a coordinator, a coach, a running back, a receiver. You start to wonder, can this guy get it done when the chips are down? So Brock Purdy, there's some pressure this season, for sure. You're now a $50 million man. You got to act like one. We got a great show ahead, folks. I'm so fired up. And coming up next here on The Herd, oh boy. Back here on The Herd, got Albert Breer coming up in 20 minutes. Maybe I'll ask him about the reporter on social media who yelled at me over my Shedeur Sanders take from yesterday. I don't know. We got a lot to talk about. Breer's my guy. We're buddies. We go way back. So stick around for that. We got Jovan Buha. Lakers people, stick and stay, second hour. That'll be fun. All right. So part of the fun of being in sports media is, you get to make predictions. And then you obviously root for them, so you hope you're right. And a couple years ago on this show, I put kind of a stake in the ground like Mel Gibson Braveheart style for a player. And I didn't just do it out of the blue. You hear things. People come through this studio. I have people on my podcast. I'm out and about trying to talk up certain people in the NFL. And I kept hearing, keep an eye on this J.J. McCarthy kid, man, at Michigan. He's got some moxie. Okay, I'm like, whatever that's worth. Matt Saracen from Friday Night Lights had moxie. Where'd that get him, And McCarthy just has a ho-hum career, 27-1 at Michigan. No big deal. But I'll never forget, he had a semifinal game against Alabama. And I think it was either the first play of the game or the third. He throws an out pattern, and the Alabama DB almost picks it off. And I'm like, oh, gosh, here I am hyping up McCarthy, and he nearly screwed the pooch on the first drive. And, of course, as the game progresses, J.J. McCarthy has the ball with 5 minutes left, down a touchdown against Alabama in the Rose Bowl. If that's not pressure, I don't know what pressure is. McCarthy completes a big pass on fourth down. He has a huge scramble, ends up getting a touchdown pass, ties the game. They win in overtime. And all of a sudden, J.J. McCarthy, okay, I see you, J.J. You got some pop. And he's drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. But then he gets hurt and misses the entire rookie season. He misses the season, and Sam Darnold jumps in. Sam Darnold, who was drafted by the Jets high, couldn't do anything in New York, bounces around, and all of a sudden lands in Minnesota, and Sam Darnold is lights out last year, okay? Until the end of the season. And national television kind of poops his pants in the regular season finale with everything on the line. Playoff game, he gets destroyed, humbled at home, and they move on from Sam Darnold. But all you hear is like, I don't know if J.J. McCarthy's the guy. There's all this noise from reporters. J.J. McCarthy has not thrown a meaningful pass in the NFL yet. His last meaningful pass was January 8th, 2024 in that Rose Bowl. I am coming out right now and telling America I'm all in on J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings. They will play in the NFC Championship this year. I'm making my prediction here in June of 2025. I am all in on this team. Now, it's a couple things at play. First, I want you to listen to somebody who played with Josh Allen and who's now seen J.J. McCarthy up close. Harrison Phillips. Here he is giving some praise to Mr. J.J. McCarthy.
Man, he's got some confidence, and he reminds me of like Josh Allen when I was with him in Buffalo, coming into his own and understanding the power that he has to lead this organization, and he's doing a fantastic job doing that.
Oh, really? He reminds you of Josh Allen. Oh, my. Okay, so I said earlier, I like when people come into the studio and I'm a sponge. I try to learn stuff. You guys might remember Aaron Jones, the running back. He was in Green Bay, now he's on the Vikings. Came in here. During the commercial, I'm peppering these guys with questions. What do you got? Without any prompting, Aaron Jones could not stop talking about J.J. McCarthy. The leadership, the dude's got it. Sometimes you just have it. It's a quality. Girl walks into a bar, she's got it. That's the girl. Quarterback walks in, and he's got command of the offense. Okay? Aaron Jones is running back, raving about it. And then we got a guy here at the network who happens to know Kevin O'Connell very well. Kevin O'Connell really, really likes J.J. McCarthy. Oh, by the way, you know who else likes J.J. McCarthy? Jim Harbaugh. Do you remember what he said on this show about J.J. McCarthy?
Arm talent, athleticism, it factor, winning with numbing repetition. When people get a load of JJ and what he, how he can throw the ball, how he spins it, his athleticism, his intelligence, talk about it factor, he's got it, the competitiveness that he has. And they get around him and they really start digging in and they start talking to him.
So you start adding these things up. Jim Harbaugh, who knows a little bit about football, loves J.J. McCarthy. Kevin O'Connell is one of the brightest young minds in the league. That's undeniable. Okay? How do I know this? Well, I don't know. Caleb Williams coming out of USC is like on record saying, I want to play for Kevin O'Connell. How do I get to Minnesota? Caleb Williams wanted to go to play for Kevin O'Connell. And do you remember the Pastronaut, one of the great nicknames in the NFL? Josh Dobbs. Minnesota had a quarterback injury. They trade for Josh Dobbs, thrust him on the field that week. He gets a win. Next week, gets a win. Kevin O'Connell is freaking good, guys. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of good coaches in the league. I've got him in my top 5 coaches already. And I don't think he's won a playoff game. Lost with Kirk Cousins. Lost with Darnold. And I've got Kevin O'Connell 5th of my coaches in the NFL right now. That's how in high regard I have him. Okay? So you add all this up. Harbaugh loves it. J.J. McCarthy. Kevin O'Connell, super sharp mind, who everybody wants to play for. Remember, by the way, Aaron Rodgers, guys, still not signed. I'm lifting my ban on Aaron Rodgers. Yesterday, I refused to mention the guy's name. Today, I'm mentioning it because multiple reporters have come out and said, the reason Rodgers hasn't signed yet with Pittsburgh is because he's waiting for the Minnesota opening. He wants Kevin O'Connell to want him. I don't think it's happening. I think it's a bad look to kind of do exactly what Brett Favre did. Jets, then Vikings. That's very losery. I digress. Bottom line is everybody loves Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell loves J.J. McCarthy. Folks, we know the Detroit Lions. Alex and I talked about this yesterday. Frank Ragnow, Detroit center. He just retired. Detroit has a new offensive coordinator and a new center. That's not great. Green Bay, we got some questions. I think we'll be talking about the Packers. Jordan Love doesn't seem happy with some of the comments coming out. There's some noise around Green Bay. I don't know if they're going to be good or not. The Bears' schedule is brutal. Cowherd can hype them up all they want. It ain't happening. The team of destiny this year is the Minnesota Vikings. They went 14-3 last year and didn't finish in first place. So a 14-3 team playing a second-place schedule. Guys, I don't think they're afraid of the Bears. It's on the road. It could be a tricky spot. Then they get the Falcons at home, the no-defense Bengals, the overrated Steelers, and the punchless Browns, who are probably going to be starting Kenny Pickett at that point. 5-0 in play right out of the gate. Listen, I'm not advocating bet the win total now, but I'm just telling you, as long as McCarthy's healthy, I like this Vikings team a lot this coming season. Let's go to Alex Curry with the news.